Hello everyone, welcome to this neck of the woods. We're diving straight into this tutorial with this overview of the pattern pieces. Don't forget to make all the notches and mark the centers of your front and back parts. Let's start with the bust darts, which I have drawn on the shell fabric as well as on my lining. I'm going to hand baste my darts and sew them. This tutorial shows you all the sewing steps with lining, but you could totally skip the lining if your fabric is opaque enough. Then I press them down. Parts are done and press down. This is what you get. Now I finish all these edges. I will now sew the back parts together at the center seam for both the shell and the lining. Make sure the back parts are symmetrical and in the right direction. Now, let's sew the facing to the lining. So my back facing looks a bit weird right now, and it's because I made a mistake without consequence, which is that I cut my facing on the fold instead of cutting two symmetrical pieces and sewing them at the center back. So I cut my fabric a little bit in order to adapt to this facing, which is wrong. But if you cut everything right, then you don't have to do anything. I pinned the front facing right sides together to the lining. Same for the back facing. You sew respecting 1 centimeter of seam allowance. I press down and I top stitch. And this is what I get. For the front, if you notice too much bulging at the curvy parts, you can trim the seam allowances on the curves. I did cut some triangles here later on. So I take my front and my back parts, I sew them on the side seams. Here are my straps. Be careful here because there is a front and a back with these. So where you get many notches and a sort of angle, it's the back. I fold them right sides together. I sew. I turn them inside out. I press down and I top stitch on either edges. I'll sew the straps to the front. Again, use the notches to make sure you pin the front part of the strap to the front of the dress and the back to the back. I sew in the seam allowance. To do this, I usually follow the width of my presser foot, which is about 7 millimeters. My shell is wrong side of the fabric visible. I insert my lining with the right side out inside my shell so that the right sides are touching. I had forgotten to make a center knot, so I do it now. You pin the shell to the lining. You sew all along the neckline, respecting 1 centimeter of seam allowance. And then you're going to trim the seam allowance at the curves. Now I understitch on the lining side. Finally, we have the hems. So there is a hem allowance indicated on the pattern, but before just following the hem allowance I picked, you want to try the dress on, test the hems and pick the one that you prefer on you. You can finish the edges of both the lining and the shell, and then you're gonna hem, and for that I recommend that you hem the shell fabric first. You make a one-fold hem, and then you stitch by hand, and then depending on this first hem, you hem the lining so that its length goes down to somewhere in the hem allowance of the shell. And that's it! The dress is done! So this dress is one version of 4 summer dresses. It's the same fit, mini dress, slight A-line, woven fabric, all slip-on. We have no sophisticated nor difficult closure system. And so it's the same fit, but with variations of the top parts. And it's going to be sort of easy to shorten the dress into some tops if that's what you are looking for. If you make them, use this hashtag and tag me on social. And that's it. Take care and see you soon for another project. Bye, kiss!